Hello, everyone. This is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today, we're going to talk to you guys about why do you have so many different credit scores still, okay? Let's go straight into it. We've done a video like this in the past, but of course, things have changed just with the economy climates and things of that sort. And people are still trying to understand why is it that they have so many different credit scores and what do they need to be checking, okay? As we all know, there are two main algorithms. You have FICO, which is FICO, and that's short for Fair Isaac Incorporation. They've been making credit scores since the 80s. And then, of course, you have Vantage 3.0, which is also transitioning to 4.0. So they say, but no one's really transitioned to 4.0. That algorithm has actually been made by the actual top three credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. That said, it's supposed to be in direct competition with FICO. But of course, 90% of lenders use FICO. I don't even know what the 10% even use because I've never seen anyone not use FICO to make a decision. That said, so when you're looking at your credit scores and 90% of lenders are going to use FICO, that means that they're going to be looking at your FICO scores. A lot of times people think they just have three scores, one from each bureau, because that's the standard way of doing things. And that would be too easy, right? But no, this has to be confusing on purpose. But actually, it's part of a good thing as well, too. And you have different categories of scores. One score is for credit cards. One score is for personal loans. One score is for, obviously going to be you have mortgage scores, credit cards, and of course, you're going to have any new scores that pop up along the way as well, too. Then they also have older versions of scores. So, of course, when you're going to the dealership, they're going to be looking at your auto loan score. And they have current versions of that, and they have older versions of that as well, too. There is no state mandate or anything like that. The government hasn't gotten involved with credit. Credit is one of those things where, it could be one thing this month, and they can change it next month. Usually, most places don't do that. But, however, places do make changes. At the dealership that I worked at the time when I started, we only used to look at TransUnion. Now, today, they look at two scores. So times have changed. But again, it took 12 years, for that to change. So how often do places do that? Who knows? But at the same time, they're at least considering other scores. That way, if there's something that is negative on one particular bureau versus the old way, you would have probably either gotten denied or had a higher interest rate. With the new way, just using this as a model, and more places need to start doing this. But you would be able to either get approved or get better terms simply because you have a better score on a different bureau. Okay, that may not necessarily always be the case, but as far as the auto loan score category goes, there's current versions and there's older versions as well, too. The current version is 8. Sometimes they kind of tinker around with the older versions as well, too, but it really all depends on the actual dealership or the lender or the bank that you're actually getting the interest rates from in terms. Okay. Next is going to be the mortgage scores. Mortgage scores, they use all three. And for the most part, they've been using mortgage scores 2 and mortgage scores 4. Those are the most popular ones. And of course, for those who don't know, with mortgages, they drop your highest, they drop your lowest, and they look at the one that's in the middle. So if you have a 620, a 630, and a 640, 620 is the lowest, they drop that. 640 is the highest, they drop that. The middle score would be 630, regardless of what actual bureau that's on. So that would be mortgage scores. Then you have personal loan scores, which kind of falls into, I think, student loans as well, too, just because they already got mortgages, they already got auto loans. So, of course, the only thing that's left over is student loans and personal loans. That one kind of varies as well, too. They have current versions and they have older versions. Then you have credit card scores. They have about 3 to 4 versions of these. And this one even has a FICO 9 score. So, but again, you will never know which which actual score model they're using, because all they have to say is we use the FICO score model. But of course, as long as you're doing the same things, the same habits, it's going to be within points of each other. As long as you're doing things a certain way, you're going to be literally within 10 to 15 points in that same category, even though it's an older model or a newer model. Okay. And of course, you have various scores that may come, in between that time. As I mentioned, the FICO 9. They also mentioned the Ultra FICO. They never really came out with. They've just been making changes to the current, model right now, and just making things a little bit easier for American consumers as we go. Now, the only way to see these scores is to actually go to myfico.com, and you can get any one of their plans. Even if you get a one-time report, it's going to have all of those scores. If you get a monthly plan, it updates all the scores every quarter, and then they have another monthly plan that updates all the scores every single month. So, that's really up to you. If you want to get all that, now you're paying about $40 a month for an individual. They have a family plan as well, too. But at the same time, I don't recommend that you actually get that until you actually you're going to be planning on using your credit. Other than that, you can just use Identity IQ, which is the cheapest way to actually do it. We have our discount link down at the bottom as well too. If you just want to just see something every single month and get scores every single month, but you don't, it's not a big deal to you whether they're FICO scores or Vantage scores per se. If you just want to just kind of just keep up with certain things, so that's another option. And then of course, you have Credit Karma, which is obviously free, but that uses the exact same algorithm as Vantage 3.0. So a lot of places actually use Vantage 3.0. We're not aware of it. That's Credit Karma, Wallet Hub, Credit Wise, a slew of other products as well too. Even TransUnion and Equifax, if you sign up for a membership on their website, they're using the Vantage 3.0 model. So you're technically paying for what you can see for free on Credit Karma. Why Credit Karma doesn't have Experian? Well, obviously, if they do, then a lot of places that are charging you will go out of business. Okay, so there's got to be a couple politics behind it, right? But of course, hopefully you like this video. If you do like it, if you want to share it, share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe, as we got nothing but great content well on the way. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.